Thank you very much, friends. Aloha. Aloha. It's wonderful to see all of you, and I very much believe in the separation of church and state. You know, I think particularly with this administration, more and more, there's a tendency to kind of mix things up, and religion pervades just about everything that comes out of this administration. But Larry, thank you for the introduction, even if you did get a part of it wrong. You can't trust what's in Wikipedia, you know. So I've had the privilege of serving the people of the state of Hawaii since 1980. That's when I first ran for office, not too soon after I graduated from Georgetown Law School, and I just met a fellow Hoya person. Where's Allison? There she is. Yeah. So it's been really a privilege, but you know, I just want to tell you a little bit about my background, because perhaps you're not that familiar with the fact that I came to this country when I was almost 8 years old, and I was brought here by my mother, who escaped a terrible marriage to my father, who I didn't get to know at all. And so she had tremendous courage at a time when women in Japan did not do what she did. Certainly if they ran away from the husband, they did not take 3 children with them. So she plotted and planned in secret, because if my father and his family had found out we were planning such a thing, then they would have stopped us. So my mother showed me way back when that one person can make a difference, because she totally changed my life by bringing me to this country that I knew nothing about. And I certainly didn't know anything about Hawaii. But this country gave me opportunities to learn English, I went to public schools all the way, except for Georgetown, which I paid for myself, by the way. And I learned through all of the experiences of being an immigrant in this country, what it feels like to be marginalized, to not have power, to run out of money by the end of the month, because my mother is the sole support of 3 children, and she had very little job security and very low-paying jobs with no health care, no nothing. So growing up as a kid, my greatest fear was when my mother would get sick, and if she got sick, she wouldn't be able to go to work, much less go to the doctor. None of us ever went to the doctor. And that was my greatest fear. So of course I understand how important healthcare is to everyone in this country. And of course I understand how important quality education and equal opportunity for everyone is in this country. I think that if I were not an immigrant, if I came from a sort of a typical middle-class family, I probably wouldn't be standing here today to have the honor of accepting this recognition from you. So these are not, normal times. How many of you think these are normal times? Oh, I knew I was with the right audience. And I think many of you, particularly with this administration, you feel a sense of urgency, to keep fighting, because it seems like we face a new assault on the body politic every single day. And I have said to the press that my head explodes on a regular basis with what this administration comes up with. And to keep myself together, I have at least one Trumpless day a week. That's usually a Sunday, where I refuse to watch any news, no MSNBC, no, CNN, nothing. And I read or do something that's sort of gets my juices flowing. It gives me a little respite. But we all know that we can't afford to be discouraged and disengaged, because these are not normal times. And let me cite you some things that I know you all can give me examples of what you consider not normal. Certainly not normal when an administration tries to pack our courts with ideologically driven judges who believe that religious rights supersede virtually all others. It's not normal when the government argues that businesses should be able to discriminate against gay customers looking to buy a wedding cake, or arguing that it's okay to fire someone from their jobs for being gay. It's not normal when the Department of Health and Human Services create an office, I bet you didn't know this, an office to protect healthcare workers who object to performing procedures or providing care that violate their religious beliefs. See, this is a very enlightened group. You guys knew this. See, most people don't know that they have created an entire office to protect those people. It is not normal when a president attacks women's health care on a continuous basis, and we barely fought back an attempt to remove 30 million people right off the bat from the Affordable Care Act, and that happened with only one vote. And it's not normal when we have a Secretary of Education who doesn't even believe in public education, or an EPA administrator who wants to dismantle the very agency that he's charged with leading. And it's not normal when we have a president who uses his executive authority to single out and target a religious minority for discriminatory treatment through his Muslim ban. And in fact, the state of Hawaii was one of the first states to file a lawsuit against that executive order. And Hawaii, the Trump versus Hawaii, Trump versus Hawaii is being heard by the United States Supreme Court tomorrow. I will be there. And one of the few times that Ted Cruz and I ever did something together, we wrote a letter to the Supreme Court asking them to release a video of the oral arguments in Trump versus Hawaii right after the arguments are made, as opposed to waiting I don't know how many days. So the court granted that. So bipartisan. I know you are a group that's very engaged in everything that's going on in our country, but to do something that you would not have thought to do, such as sending some money to other organizations, important as this one is, to help them in their fight for immigrant rights, for LGBTQ rights, for civil rights, for voting rights. There are so many organizations that are in deep need of financial support, even as this administration is cutting the non-defense side of the budget down to the bone. And as I meet with all of these people who come to see me, because this is the time of the year when all these private sector organizations and professionals, doctors, nurses, you name it, they come to see us because we're putting together the appropriations for fiscal year 19. We only voted on the fiscal year 18 appropriation in the omnibus bill about 3 weeks ago, so this is really a crazy way to proceed, but that's another story. So as they all come to see me, I say to them, thank you for your advocacy. We have to do more of it, and we have to get out of our advocacy tunnels and reach out to other groups, because we are all being screwed, right? So since we're all in the boat together, to reach out to others is what we ought to be doing to make our country whole again. As we say in Hawaii, mahalo nui loa to each and every one of you, my friends.